Re-Zero, Side Story, Provisional Rem's Paranoia, Laundry, while the Oni are away.
Soul sisters, is it? Hearing a word she was not familiar with, Rem returned that question with a puzzled look. This was the garden of the biggest mansion within the fortified city of Garrel. Near a well in the rear garden, they were doing laundry on clothes and bandages at a watering hole. Recently, there was a commotion which, while small in number, left several wounded. As such, there was no harm in having as many spare bandages as possible. Furthermore, it served the purpose of preparing for the future. Of course, to Rem, it would be better if these did not have to be used in the first place. In either case, that's right, yes, Kuna and I are that soul sisters thing, yes. Laughing with a wide grin, standing beside Rem as she did laundry, Holly was hanging the clothes that just finished washing up on a string. This girl, who was a full head taller than Rem, contrary to her carefree way of talking, was hanging the laundry at a brisk pace. Although she had grown used to handling her cane to a certain degree, comparing Rem, whose legs could not be described as flawless, to Holly would yield a night and day difference. With the tips of her hair dyed yellow, donning healthy brown-colored skin, was Holly. Rem also found herself thinking of their time together as quite long within her own subjective life. That said, there were still many things about her that she still did not know. Holly-san, you seem quite versed in doing laundry. You're gonna make me blush, yes. In truth, I originally didn't have the role of hunter, but of guardian instead, which is why I'm good at this, yes. Guardian, is it? While she understood the meaning of that word, she had not the faintest idea what specific duties it entailed from her answer. From the flow of conversation, she understood that guardians and hunters were a set of words, but within Rem's meager, unreliable knowledge, she did not have a big impression of those two going together. In that manner, Rem furrowed her brow. What are you doing? Rem's head is in shambles, ain't it? It's Kuna. With nary a sound, a thin shadow appeared as it stepped into the garden's field. Holly's eyes glinted as she spotted her entrance, swinging a big hand as she called her name. Giving an apathetic shrug to that call, the tips of her hair dyed green, was Kuna. In contrast to the wide-eyed Holly, the sharp slit-eyed Kuna gazed at Rem doing laundry, and then at Holly, who was hanging it respectively. Rem, titles like Guardian and Hunter are actually the way we Shudrak operate. As such, you ain't gonna come up with the answer no matter how much you wreck your head. I see, so that's how it is. What do they mean? The fact that you ain't got any hesitation there is another good trait of yours, Rem. Eyes narrowed, Rem tilted her head at Kuna, who was scratching her cheek. Behind her, Holly tilted her head in much the same way, grumbling, you say such difficult things, Kuna. Yes. Sighing in disappointment at their reaction, Kuna raised a finger and said, listen, okay? Ain't like it matters to me, but traditions are something that are directly connected to someone's pride. Even if trying to learn while ignorant is something good, there seem to be people who consider direct questioning to be rude. For that, I'm sorry, I did not think far enough. Hearing the warning from Kuna, who had slightly lowered the tone of her voice, Rem meekly lowered her head. It would be a simple matter to dismiss Kuna's words as an exaggeration. However, for Rem, who, to a certain extent, knew as little of the world as a baby, what basis did she have to declare something an exaggeration? Holding those given words close to her chest, Rem deeply scolded herself. So then, what does it mean? Did you listen to what I just said? Of course. However, if I had already asked once, as if asking to leave the reflection for later, she positioned herself to continue her questioning right here. Kuna raised both hands at Rem's curiosity, saying fine in defeat. Ain't no point in hiding it, so I'll talk. A guardian is someone with the role of protecting the village and raising the children while the hunters are away. Protecting the village and raising the children, is it? That is a splendid job. A job for the leftovers is what it is. Rem had been very satisfied hearing the explanation for the guardians. However, Kuna's answer was bitter. Averting her eyes, Kuna pursed her lips. In response to her trying to make Rem see things in black and white, then, geez, Kuna, if you keep talking like that, you're gonna trouble Rem. No, if it was me who asked something inappropriate then. No, not at all, there's nothing for you to apologize for, it's just, Kuna admires the job of a hunter very much, so she doesn't like the duty of guardian. Laughing at the bewildered Rem, Holly grabbed Kuna by the shoulders and jostled her. With the difference in physiques, Kuna was being handled like trees swaying in a gale, and then, while Holly was swinging Kuna around, Kuna and we ended up switching roles to hunter partway. Because we came up with us doing the duty with Kuna as the eyes, and with me drawing the bow. Eyes and bow, now that you mention it, you two had gone hunting together. Previously, when they had traveled from the Shudrak settlement to Garrel, the two of them accompanied Rem as her bodyguards. En route, they were the ones who hunted prey, and procured ingredients. At the time as well, while they seemed like an odd pair, their excellency in archery had moved her, and then we both became hunters that and this as well, represent our bond as soul sisters. I'm telling you it ain't that crazy of a thing. Kuna's cheeks lightly colored in embarrassment at the frank Holly smile. Looking at that, Rem preambled with by the way, I missed my chance to ask this before, but what are soul sisters? Souls and sisters were not like hunters and guardians, but they were also a meaningful combination. Though she could guess that this was used to describe Kuna and Holly both from their tone, I believe it's both a very precious word and relationship, but what is the actual meaning? How come you made such a meek face a moment ago? Was it wrong of me? Glared at by Kuna with reproachful eyes, Rem sought answers hesitantly. As she said, it was true that she was reflecting just a moment ago, but she could not stop this intellectual curiosity of hers. Kuna making a sour face at Rem's pleading look, but soul sisters are Shudrak babies who were born on the same day. Holly, what the hell? Geez, this isn't something to hide and bully her over. I'm telling you it's fine to tell her about it. Puffing up her round cheeks, Holly, who answered for Kuna, threw out her chest. However, Kuna poking those puffed up cheeks of Holly, don't be stupid. If it's around us then I don't mind, but what happens when Rem does the same thing with somebody who isn't us? They might get angry, won't they? Then when the time comes, we just have to protect Rem from that angry person. We ain't always gonna be with her. Please don't fight over me. In the panic of the two having begun to quarrel, Rem jumped in to intercede. Standing up using her cane, she, literally, broke in between the two. Holly's care and Kuna's concern both make me glad. But I do not wish for you to fight. You're soul sisters, are you not? Ma, that's right. It seems her eye is quite discerning, as the both of them calmed down when she referenced soul sisters. Whether it was to the Shudrak or to the two of them, it might carry the same meaning, but it seemed that phrase was deemed quite important, and something to be used with much care. Seeing the relationship between the two, suddenly made Rem come to a conclusion. I'm envious of your relationship. What now? Soul sisters, surely, it refers to sisters who don't need a blood relation, right? And you two get along so well, and even hunt together, supporting each other. The two constructed an indispensable relationship. For Rem, who had nothing to lean on, she thought of that as something bright, something to be very envious of. Especially so, since she harbored an immense sentiment towards the sound of soul sisters. It seems I also have an older sister. An older twin sister, as I've heard. Rem's Oni-san? Yes. That person said it though, and I don't remember it, so I only half believe it. While she kept prefacing it that way, as expected, she did not actually doubt the existence of her sister. That said, the unconfirmed existence of her sister was, after all, something that had an impression called an emotionally complex burden on Rem. However, the one with the vague existence was the current Rem herself. In her current state where she was being manipulated by Subaru's every action and his every word, what if she happened to meet her true sister? My current self couldn't face even my blood sister with a clear heart. That's why I'm envious of you two who are connected by an unseen bond. Rem. With Rem having verbally expressed her complicated state of mind, Holly flapped her hands up and down in panic. Her response meant that she did not really know what she wanted to say, nor what would be acceptable to say. Realizing she had troubled the kind-hearted Holly, Rem tried to say something to her when, I think, you ain't gotta be so pessimistic about it. Rem blinked her eyes with an at Kuna, who made that statement with one eye shut. You're sisters, and also twins, right? Whether it be twins or triplets, The connection between sisters born from the same belly is quite strong as it seems. From what I've heard, the Shudrakian term soul sisters is taken from that bond I hear. Was that so? I had no idea at all. It's just what I've heard, okay? Kuna reminded such to Holly, who had placed a hand over her mouth in surprise. Originally, whenever twins or more were born in the Shudrak, it was confirmed that there laid a special connection between them. Warped by the flow of time, the tale that was passed down was that of the special bond between twins of the soul, for children born on the same day. In short, soul sisters is all just make-believe. Geez. Kuna, you're back at it with that wording again. Kuna, I'm really going to start believing that you hate being soul sisters with me. I ain't saying that, but it's just that's how I think. We can't keep holding onto these old-ass customs, we gotta advance or else the Shudrak'll fall to ruin. Geez. Don't let the chief, my Zelda hear you. Kuna did nothing but shrug her shoulders at Holly, who displayed her dissatisfaction while shaking both hands. Watching those two, Rem looked down at her chest at their previous words. From the bottom of her quietly beating heart within her chest, there was a very faint twinge-like sensation. What was that? The discomfort and sense of foreignness that she was reminded of, she had always wondered. My connection, with my flesh and blood sister. Supposing perhaps, you prayed, tried to wish for it, then you might be able to feel it. If you wanna remember what you forgot, that may also be a way to go about it. As if she guessed Rem's confusion, Kuna said that in anticipation, a temporary hesitation. However, she wished for that discomfort's true form after all, and so Rem surrendered herself to that probing feeling. She closed her eyes, seeking the answer from that warmth in the darkness. She felt like she could feel a faint, light pink warmth in a near faraway place. Did you feel something? If so, then that's amazing. I can't feel it super clearly, but I could feel like it was there. Is this a connection? She once again felt like she had touched a part of her connection with that unseen someone, her yet-to-be-known sister, so Rem mumbled. As unreliable as that feeling was, and while it certainly made her feel like it was there, it also made her fully realize the huge gap which she was unable to pull that closer from, that the current Rem could not possibly close that enormous gap. However, I very, very much felt it. Something which feels much more reliable than that person. Man, Subaru just ain't catching a break, and he's working so hard for Rem too. Subaru is so pitiful. Hearing Rem's words as she lightly complained, Kuna and Holly's stances leaned more towards Subaru. Certainly there was no need to cite him as an example, so Rem reflected on that point as well. However, the one who gave information about her sister to the mentally unstable Rem was Subaru in the first place. He himself did not have any bad intentions, and he even prefaced it with sorry before telling her, but even then, Rem's turmoil was very difficult for others to perceive. His lack of attention to those things is what makes Subaru a Subaru. That's enough about that person. We're digressing. You were the one who brought Subaru into the conversation in the first place. That is not true, it is not, right? After replying reflexively, she then lost confidence in her own statement. That said, if that were to be the truth, she would be a bit uncomfortable about Subaru always residing in some corner of her mind. She had remained in Garrel away from him, for the sake of Subaru's own independence, as he had tried to remain next to her. And also because she is being roundaboutly told to re-examine herself by Priscilla. Understood? Let us do laundry with a clear mind. The moment you say to have a clear mind, ain't it like you're no longer with a clear mind? Geez. Don't speak out of turn. Respecting Rem, who wanted to renew her feelings, Holly, who had puffed up her cheeks, held Kuna tight. Buried under her chest due to the size difference, Kuna let out a muggy. Doing that and holding the wriggling Kuna tight, Holly smirked. I'm also going to continue helping Rem. We're doing some nice laundry after so long, it's quite fun, so join us, Kuna. Why do I gotta join you guys? But Kuna, I joined you when you said you wanted to go hunting together. As if that was in fact her sore point, Holly's counter made Kuna stiffen. Somehow, she felt like she had seen an unexpected power balance between the two, and Rem let out a small giggle. And here she had thought Kuna had seized leadership, while Holly merely followed her. Seems like Holly is the one who is actually more like an elder sister than Kuna. Yeah, Rem gets it. I was the one who was born first, ain't that like some tens of seconds difference or something? No way we're deciding it from that. Baring her fangs, Kuna escaped from Holly's arms, and then turned towards Rem's back. Glaring at the laundry being washed with well water that they're holding, she sighed. Kuna held dissatisfaction towards the role of guardian, and decided to become a hunter together with her soul sister. There was no mistaking that this was a reluctant job for her. Whatever, I'll help out, perhaps because of consideration for Rem, who was in a rush to finish her job, or because her soul sister had asked her with a cheerful smile. Kuna proposed so curtly. Rem laughed in response to her attitude. Yes, your help is most welcome. We have to clear this job, lest helping Priscilla with her bath be delayed, and I incur her words of displeasure. Seems like you have it tough. We really have to help you with this after all. Perhaps because Priscilla's tyranny was quite well known, she keenly felt Kuna and Holly's kindness. Laughing bitterly at that truth, Rem got to work on finishing the remaining laundry, while being helped by the cooperation of sisters who, while having no blood relation, are truly linked through the soul. Doing so, she poured her thoughts but for a moment, onto the perturbation she felt even now within the depths of her chest. That was, I wondered just what kind of sister I was. She lunged such a question, which would not receive an answer, to her yet unseen older sister.